Hello and welcome back to A Better World. This is your host, Mitchell J. Rabin, and I'm very glad you're joining us again today. We are on location in beautiful Sedona, Arizona, and we are at Tom Bird's 8-day writing retreat, which is at this incredible place. And Tom Bird, who is our guest today, is conducting this fabulous gathering of some 32 or 33 people sitting in a room for many, many hours a day, writing from their heart, writing from their soul, speaking truths that they had not let even themselves know in many cases for many years, if ever. And Tom is an inspirational teacher, and we're very glad to have him on.
I feel that the reason people that are so accomplished end up on my retreats is because they do need a healing, because they want to birth a book, because they've got a deeper purpose to express at a deeper level.
Right.
And also, and I hope I don't sound too negative in this regard, but also because our educational system does such a god-awful, terrible job of teaching people the reality about writing. You know, our educational system teaches writing from a cerebral perspective.
Or the business part of it, too. Yeah, and exactly.
It's a cerebral perspective, and actually there's four holistic components. 4 components that build into a holistic whole for writing. And if you only teach one component of it, it's like having a flat tire, 3 flat tires on your car and 1 inflated.
Exactly.
You're going nowhere.
Right.
So the people that come in, you know, the professionals that you're talking about, you know, they initially feel a little sheepish, a little frustrated about being here. They feel that way because they're like, you know, look, I went and got this PhD, I started a business, I made millions of dollars, you know, I handle thousands of employees, but I haven't been able to write. And it's what I want to do more than anything else.
Doggone it! Right.
They come here and they realize all they were missing was the proper information, the proper guidance. And you know, as you saw this week, a point I want to build on what you were saying about a lot of things people go through the healing process of writing, that's usually with the first book, okay? Almost in all cases, the first book is cathartic in nature.
Yes.
Whether the book actually ends up being cathartic or this the process is cathartic, because we're using that as a rebirthing to return to their divine selves.
And their deeper voice.
Yes, and usually from the second book on, their style and modality and result of writing changes substantially, to where I've seen people write gut-wrenching books about their abuse that were very permanent, very touching. And in the second book, they started writing a sleazy little fast, hot romance. You know, and then they don't understand the shift.
Yeah.
The shift is the first book is helping you to return to yourself, not only just expressing a deep purpose, but helping you return to yourself. The second book is more indicative of what it is your style is, what you're meant to write. And it doesn't, a lot of people get confused with the point where they think they have to write this deep book to leave a purpose on earth, to live their purpose on earth. I just don't agree with that, man. If you write a funny little book that makes people laugh, there's no greater message than that, you know. So some books are very deliberate in their
It's an interesting perspective.
And some are just like, you know, wow, I just wrote a really great little romance. It's fun. Somebody's going to pick it up after a busy day. They're going to use that to levitate above their busy lifestyles and really enjoy it. I think every book has, every book and every author has a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. No, and you helped me see something that I felt was really valuable for myself, which is I was raised in that New England, New York, ivory tower, cerebral kind of approach. And I really saw that, and I helped to splatter it in a way, to shatter it, because, you know, I had a very particular belief system around it. And you really helped to dismantle that through this process, you know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, having that tower.
No, not at all.
We just need 2 of them.
It's just exactly right brain, left brain, you know, and let them muij, as we say in Chinese, you know, come together and titillate each other. Now, there's a particular story that you told, since you mentioned hot, fast romance, that I actually wanted you to bring up so the audience can get a sense, Tom, of some of the variety of people that come here to study and to kind of go through this process. And you had told a story the other day about this woman who works in like a dental office or something, who had read a number of romance books. Do you know, I thought that would be a really good story for our audience.
Yeah, you know.
Would you mind?
Sure, no problem. No one, most of my students come here with confidence. None of them come with confidence as writers. Okay, confidence comes as a result of positive experience, and so most of them have
in other parts of their lives.
And it doesn't transfer over here. So I had this one student who was having a very difficult time putting together a bio for which would send to a literary agent, which they need to be able to put together in a package for a publisher.
Yes, yes.
And she was having a very difficult time writing it because she was 43 years old, so living at home, never been on a date, never had a boyfriend. She was very intelligent, had a master's degree, but she really wasn't applying herself because she had low self-esteem. And as a result, she had a job as a routine receptionist at a company that didn't treat her well. So when it came down to writing her bio, she was writing a romance. And in the first paragraph of this bio, she had to identify why she was the absolute best writer to write this book, and she just couldn't see herself as an author. And her name was Cindy. And I said, well, you read romance novels, right, Cindy? She goes, oh, yes. I said, how many do you read? She goes, well, at least one a day, sometimes two during the day on weekends. So I said, you're doing like, would it be safe to say you're doing at least 40 a month? She goes, oh, yeah, easily. And so you're doing almost 500 a year. Oh, yeah, sure. How long have you been reading romance novels? She goes, since I was 14. I said, okay, so, 29 years. So what's 29 or 30 times 500? And we came up with this absurd number of romance novels she had written. And I said, okay, all you have to do is put
12,000 romance novels.
I said, so you don't think you're qualified to write one? She goes, I think I am now. So the first paragraph of her bio said, even though this is Cindy's first romance novel, over the last 29 years she's read 12,000 romance novels, so she feels highly qualified to write this one. And
in her sleep.
Really, I think people, in regard to their writing, I can't talk about their other areas of life. I'm not qualified to do that. But with their writing, I am. I think they really need to look back. And if they really look back at their lives in a nice, calm perspective, they'll see how every step has led them to the point where they need to write their books, and it's time for them to write their books. And in her case, that's how she was able to do it, by all the preparation she went through with the reading of those romance novels for so long.
Incredible. So we don't really know, Tom, what it is that's preparing us for our next step in life. And that goes for all of our lives. Right. And this we see as, when we reflect back, oh my God, this happened, that happened, I made this choice, I made that choice, leading to, almost conspiring toward some kind of later on self-expression, such as something like, in this case, a book.
There is a divine timing.
Yeah.
One thing that people come into my classes with...
My divine timing was late.
Not really. I think it was just right on, and I'll address that in a second. But a lot of people come to my classes with regret-based anger. Okay? They had a vision that they wanted to be a writer, and they assumed that their time to do the writing and become a writer was at the time they had the vision. We get premonitions. So you can have a premonition at 6. That doesn't mean you need to be an author by 7. Maybe the opportunity is going to present itself for you to become a writer when you're 47. And I believe that everyone that comes to my retreats, it's their time to write. That's why I interview each one individually. Like when you and I first talked, I wasn't really listening to your words when you talked. I was kind of ignoring you, to be quite honest. I was listening to Tony for
That makes me feel fabulous.
Well, I'm glad. Now that you know me, you realize probably...
I understand.
I was listening to your soul.
No, you're listening to,
I was listening to the soul, your soul through the tone of your voice is what I was really listening to. And what I was really listening for is how refined that soul was, that voice was, and how desperate it was. So I wasn't listening to your words, I was listening to you, and then I tuned back into you. We talked about the retreat, and I said, well, I think you'd be a perfect candidate for this retreat, and that you have a book inside you. That's what's for me to determine is, does the person have a book inside them, number one, and number two, is it ready to be birthed?
Yes.
We are in that last trimester, and I heard that in you, like I had to with everyone else.